Umar Lee here in St. Louis. And I just want to briefly tell y'all the story of me being arrested last night and what happened, and the story of the other people that I was arrested with. I have been on some other media outlets, but I want to take the time to tell the listeners on my YouTube channel and those who follow me on social media. So basically what happened was I had to work yesterday, and after work, I picked up documentary filmmaker Ryan Frank from First Punch Films, where he works with Sam Coffey and Carson Minot on Cherokee Street, and we headed to Ferguson. We headed up West Florissant, and the SWAT team and the police tactics had already pretty much cleared out West Florissant. So we headed to the area of the Ferguson jail on Florissant Road, where I wanted to be there to show my solidarity with Antonio French, who had been arrested, and also to cover the event. Now, people ask me, why were you there in solidarity with Antonio French? Because people who follow St. Louis politics know that me and Antonio have kind of had a beef, because I supported his rival candidate, Kerry Wilson, and I'm good friends with Zudi Musri, some guy, a good friend of mine that he's butted heads with. And my response is, you know, there's no Democrats and Republicans at Pearl Harbor. This is beyond politics. This is beyond mayoral campaigns. This is beyond automatic campaigns. What we have going on here in St. Louis right now is a human rights issue. It's an issue of the occupation and the brutality and abuse against the community, of the intimidation of journalists, and political divisions don't mean anything at a time like this. So Antonio had done a very good job covering and documenting the event, and I supported Antonio and take my hat off to him. He's done so much great work down there, and he was arrested for one reason, to silence and intimidate journalists covering the event. So I was there to support Antonio. I was there peacefully, and I was sitting on the sidewalk with a few staff members from Antonio's staff, with Michael Powers, the legislative director for Lewis Reed, the chairman of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen, and with documentary filmmaker Ryan Frank. We weren't yelling, we weren't talking loud, we weren't being loud. We were just observing, watching as police pulled up in tanks, watching as police pulled up in riot gear, watching as police intimidated the crowd, and they were able to get the crowd of about 150 people who had gathered outside the police station to go home. And as we were on the sidewalk, Antonio French staff got in a car to leave, and Ryan Frank and Michael Powers and myself were walking off. And that's when the SWAT team ran across the street and arrested us. And I said, "What are you arresting us for? We're on the sidewalk. We're not doing anything illegal. I'm just here covering this event." No answers. They took us into Ferguson jail. It was cold. It was filthy. And there was a gentleman having a seizure in the cell who went untreated. And he was in the cell with Ryan Frank, while I was placed in the cell with Michael Powers. You know, if the Ferguson police and the other municipalities in St. Louis County are doing this to people, you know, Michael Powers, who works at City Hall, and Antonio French, who's an alderman, and journalists from the Washington Post, Al Jazeera, and Huffington Post, and myself, who, you know, are local independent journalists, what are they doing to your average guy in the street? What are they doing to someone without a voice, without a microphone? And I think that's pretty troubling. A friend of mine, the police shot and killed his dog a few days ago, beat him up, robbed him. How many more stories are there like that out here in St. Louis? So I want to encourage the eyes of the world to focus on not just Ferguson, but all of North St. Louis County and St. Louis region, because we need a lot of prayers, we need a lot of help, And this is a long-term issue, and we got to be in it for the long haul. But what we're seeing right now is not America. Checkpoints, journalists locked up, intimidation of public officials. These are the tactics of a police state, not a free society. Thank you very much.